Okay, so the next one's from Raider 316, and the subject is televised murder. K100 crew. Last night at tables ladder. Hang on a second. K100. Last night at can you guys hear me? By the way,
Yeah.
Last night at tables, ladders, and chairs, Orton versus Fiend ended in quite dramatic fashion. The last match in the show, WWE pulled out all the cinematic stops throughout the match. The ring was surrounded by fire. CGI was used to create the illusion that Orton set the Fiend on fire, and the suspension of disbelief was at a maximum. The match ended with a spot not seen in wrestling since some of the buried alive matches of yesteryear. An obvious look-alike mannequin was placed in the ring and set on fire by Orton. Question. Please discuss the booking of the Fiend. He seems to lose an awful lot for the type of character. The Firefly Funhouse has been overdone and ruined. The suspension of disbelief has been taxed to a laughable point. The contact lenses, the pre-shot spots, and now he was murdered by Orton in the middle of the ring to close out the pay-per-view. Derek from Virginia, Patreon crew. However, Derek, in the last paragraph, you said question, and you never asked a question. Okay? I just want to reiterate that. But, yeah, bro, I'm just telling you, I think that the Fiend character right now, in an era where fans are not watching because it's too cartoonish and they're literally doing their lowest ratings ever, I just think the way they're presenting this character is just not working. It just doesn't, it's not working. And I think it's doing harm to the show.
Yeah.
I think the Firefly Funhouse is harm to the show. I think the burning, doing the cinematic stuff like this is just, bro, you're trying to get people interested in wrestling again. You need to put your more serious stuff on. Because the numbers on SmackDown are doing better because of the Roman stuff. And Roman's angle is presented very seriously. You're presenting stuff on this show very comically and cartoon. Bro, this is South Park wrestling. This is they're setting people on fire. It's like nobody's going to think that's a real virus. It's like who is going to possibly think that is what's going like your suspension disbelief in the right place? They were set somebody on fire.
There's certain things
you just thinking the audience is very stupid, and they're not. They're smart enough to not watch this.
Yeah.
Because the way you're trying to treat them.
There's certain
That's
things,
what they're doing. They're being intelligent.
When you're watching wrestling, and people always say like a certain segment will come up, and then like say your wife walks in the room or your kid or a friend comes over, and they're like, "What the f*** is this?" And you feel embarrassed that you're watching it. That's what they should be thinking in their heads. This creative team is to try to avoid like. Would this embarrass a wrestling fan? Would this make it hard for a wrestling fan to explain?
Whoever's answering that there is answering in a very weird way.
No. I just think that there's a supernatural character angle type thing, so you do have to suspend disbelief. It's not televised murder, just like it isn't, televised murder when you burn Jason or some guy in a movie. This is not real life, and it's not supposed to be. So this is a supernatural angle, which I was okay with because that's how they've done it since the beginning, right? I just think that what's happened here is that Fiend does not have good matches. He doesn't sell, okay? And now I think they've run out of ideas with him to do. They went to the well way too often. He was really, 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 really hot for a long time. And then they went to the well not too often. And now you're getting the corny lines by Alexa, which he wasn't doing corny lines before, the continuous bad matches. He's losing a lot of steam, And again, I would have to say this is creative's fault.
It was goofy, but they made it look good. The match kind of looked unique. And the ending was silly, but it looked good. I mean, if that's the best way I could compliment it.
That was a good visual to end the show. A supernatural character that got burned, but I don't know. He just seems to be losing steam. Like the fun houses, the last couple of ones haven't been that funny. They were really creative at the beginning because it was so different and out of the box from what they were normally doing, and I liked it. This is the second time they get this guy over really big, and and it looks like they might drop the ball on him again.
Plus, one thing people should think of is when they say, like, oh, my God, they're going crazy. They crossed the line. Now they burnt a character alive. Well, 25 years ago, they were burying The Undertaker alive.
Yeah, but Joe,
he was resurrected.
This is the difference, Joe. Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, here's the diffence. 25 years ago, there was the start of the wrestling, the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
This period of time right now is the worst ratings they've ever had in their history.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything on this show that is could be looked at as being every single thing is not out of bounds for saying, okay, this might be one of the reasons that this show is doing so poorly, and I'm just throwing the Fiend character out there that some of us, we may like it, but are we in a minority of people that would be interested in watching the characters presented in this way? And I would say I think maybe it's time to just scrap this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's not working ratings-wise is what I'm bringing up.
They do a great job. Well, here's the thing. Out of a bad show, out of a 3-hour show where a lot of things are bad, this was one of the things that was sticking out as being good. And now I'm not that interested in it anymore. And WWE continuously does this, DI, and we've talked about it before. It is incredible to me how many stars they make and then somehow it up. It's really incredible to me.
Plus, just one. I know you want to move on to the next question, Di. But just one final thing, real quick, is that even if there was people that watched the pay-per-view and were blown away by the finale, like, oh my god, I can't wait to see what they do tomorrow, and then you put on Raw and it's like an afterthought. They don't even mention it at the top of the show. Yeah. I mean, we said that before.
I wish somebody would burn down the Get My Go show. Nothing.
The studio. We're building a studio for it.
Everything.
I would pop if in the Christmas episode they set Durban on fire. Okay.